Well, it's great having you. I mean, when you hear that list of honours, do you still pinch yourself and you think, God, yeah, I did do that at Chelsea?
No, it was a great time to be, to be at the club. We had this amazing chemistry with each other. It took time for us to get to know each other, but once we did, it was all history. We started winning trophies, and we had a great owner as well, who, his aim was for us to be one of the best clubs in the world, and we can only do that by winning trophies, and that's exactly what we did.
Am I right in thinking that you're sitting beside Danny Murphy now, but the last time you saw this man, you were squaring up to him in the pitch?
We did. I don't think you remember.
I don't remember.
John, tell what happened.
I think it was when you played for Fulham.
Okay. We always used to beat us when we played for Fulham. So I was probably angry.
Yeah, probably.
I've chilled out a bit now.
Yeah, I think it was about 2-3-0 back then, and then you got really pissed off, and then we squared up with each other. And I remember Frank, Super Frank, came to help us out and help us out. But what a fantastic player he was.
Thank you. I played with a good friend of yours, actually. He always used to speak so highly of you, Dixon.
Oh, Dixon too.
And he actually told me that you were, for the national team, you were number 10, no?
Yeah, I was a number 10.
Because for Chelsea, you had all your joy playing in that kind of McElhenney role.
Yeah.
But you were actually a number 10 for the national team.
Yeah, I started as a number 10 growing up. But then when I signed for the club, when I signed for Chelsea, and then Mourinho pulled me to his office. He was like, listen, I've got this, I think you're a great number 10, but I think I see you playing more deeper, because I've got a player, McElhenney, who's about to leave the club. And it's like, I think this position is going to be really great for you. And then we had a chat, in his office. It took me a bit of time. I watched McElhenney for the first 6 months to watch how, he played the role, because, it became the McElhenney role. And it was such an important role for us at the club, because everything we did at the club, that position was very, very vital for us.
Yeah. We'll get to the owner, Abramovich, in your time later on, because we've got some time with you, John. We're delighted about that. He's an ex-owner, Simon Jordan. You might remember him.
I do.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
How's it? I mean, Victor Moses always speaks very, very well of you, because obviously you played in the same team, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Where is he now? Russia?
I think he's in Russia.
Yeah,
I know he's in Russia.
Yeah.
Who do you like more, Victor Moses or Andy Johnson? Because these are the two players
or
we talk about so much. Or Wilf Zaha.
Very different. But Victor and Wilfred came out of my academy. Andy I signed, so it'll always be my academy boys. But my surrogate son will be Andrew Johnson.
So, John, it could have all been so different for you, and I want to get into this.
Yeah.
How close were you to signing for Sir Alex at Manchester United? And he wasn't happy with you, was he?
He wasn't. I actually did, obviously. I think I was 17 back then. I was in Norway, in Oslo. And then the club, I played my first game for the club, and then the week after that, Manchester United flew into Lynn Oslo, and they were like, okay, you know what? You came once to the club. You were young, and we had you at the club for like 2-3 months, and then now you've gone away, and nobody knows where you are. But here you are in Lynn Oslo in Norway. I was like, yeah, I'm here. And then obviously Fergie sent someone to come down to Lynn Oslo with a contract, with a pre-contract. It was like, here, you need to sign this contract, because the boss wants you to sign. We want you at the club. And it was a special place for me as well, because I was there for 2-3 months. I know the players. I know the likes of Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt. We used to train together. And the gaffer was like, oh, you need to sign this. You need to sign the contract, because we want you back at the club. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm actually going to sign this. So I signed a pre-contract with Manchester United. Obviously.
Isn't that sneaky from Man U, though?
Yeah, that was sneaky.
I'm loving this.
Don't give him chance to get anyone.
I know. And I was sent to Lynn Oslo by Chelsea. So Chelsea was looking after me and my family back then. And the United got to find out where I was, and then they sent someone down with a contract. And I was like, okay, we need to snatch you now. We need to make sure you sign for United. So I came down with a contract. I think it was about £1 million then salary. So I looked at it. I was like, wow, this is a changing moment for me and my family. So I spoke to the owner of the club. He's like, you've got a contract here. Chelsea haven't got a contract yet for you, so you better sign this contract. We had a discussion for about an hour or two, and then finally I signed for United. But yeah.
You signed for United?
A pre-contract, not a
pre-contract.
Yeah,
so what happened after that?
Well, after that, obviously, I did the press conference, and Chelsea got to see.
I'm delighted to be a Manchester United
Hold
player.
on, hold on.
Good morning, everybody.
How does that work? A pre-contract? What's that? How does?
I was just thinking in my own head, how does
Yeah,
that
because
work?
you need to be 18 as an
Yes.
African player. You need to be 18, and you might need to have 75% of international
Internationals,
football before you could be able to sign a professional contract with and be able to play for the senior team. And then so that was what happened. So I signed a pre-contract, and once I become 18. I will then sign
you
the
got a back-to-back pro
professional.
contract.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Sir Alex thought he'd got you.
Yeah, he thought he got me, yeah.
And by the look of it, he had.
Was that as a 10? That was a number 10.
That was the number 10. Yeah, exactly.
So how did United find out that they weren't getting John Obi Mikel?
Well, I did the press conference, and it was everywhere. And then obviously Roman, everybody at the club at Chelsea saw it, and they were like, "What was going on here? You know, we've been looking after this player for 2-3 years now. What's happening here?" So obviously they sent my agent down to Lyn Oslo, and then he came down to Norway, and then a couple of hours I went missing. So I went missing.
You went missing?
Yeah. So he took me out of from my apartment where I used to live with a couple of my friends. So he took me out of there. I was like, "Listen, we need to go back to London. I need to get you out of Norway right now, because what you've done right now, it's, we into so much problem with, with Chelsea, and Roman is not happy." So my agent took me to a hotel, and then the next morning we flew down to London. And then the rest was history, yeah. And then it took me about a year. So I couldn't play for either United or Chelsea, because FIFA was like, "Okay, we need to resolve this." So I went to FIFA. I was like, I signed out of, I didn't mean to sign for United. And
the pen slipped.
Yeah, the pen slipped. Yeah, exactly.
Suddenly my name was in the form.
So yeah, that was what happened. So
when did you meet Sir Alex? And when did he get the good news? Was it further down the line that your paths crossed again?
Yeah, actually, I did have a meeting with him at the FA office, here in London, because the FA also wanted to get involved, and it was like, "Okay, we need to get this player playing. He's a young player. He needs to play football." So I had a meeting with Sir Alex Ferguson at the FA office, just me and him in the room. Yeah, that was spicy, that. So I had my agent sitting outside. It was like, when you go into this meeting, everything he says, because he's going to try to brainwash you, everything he says, just make sure you say no. So I went into that office, into that meeting. So everything he was saying, I was like, "I'm sorry, boss, I can't play for United. I already, it was a mistake. I didn't mean to sign, and blah, blah, blah." And I was sitting right here, and he was sitting. It was a long table. He was sitting right over there, and I was sitting at the edge of the table. He was sitting at the other edge of the table. And I could see him go red. He was like, "Are you sure you don't want to play for United, the biggest club in the world?" It's like, "What is it you want? Do you want more money, or what is it you want? I'll give it to you." I was like, "Sorry, guys. Sorry, boss. I can't play for United. I want to go to Chelsea." So we had about 20, 30 minutes, in the room, and he walked off, and then that was it.
He walked away.
Yeah,
he walked away from it.
He walked away. And
I
then,
mean, he would be absolutely livid, was he?
Yeah, I know. And then the next couple of weeks, he was like, "Okay, well, I'm not going to let him go for free." So 14 million to United and 4 million to Lyn Oslo.
But what was the vision? I mean, United at that time were in their pomp. Chelsea were just getting their engine started. Roman had just come there a year before in 2003.
Yeah.
So you're just in the eye of the Mourinho storm, aren't you?
Yeah.
Frank Arneson is leaving Chelsea, going to Tottenham Hotspur, director of football. So what made you suddenly go, "I tell you what, I'm going to turn down the biggest football club in the world that's got the most achievements for a club that's just about to start looking like it's got something going"?
Yeah, I think you got it there. I think that's the word there, just about to start. For me, I wanted to go somewhere. Yeah, exactly. I wanted to go somewhere where I can help, create history. Because if I had gone to United, I wouldn't be part of the team that has won the Champions League first in London. We were the first team to win the Champions League here in London. And for me, that was just about creating my own history, because I know obviously United were the biggest club.
Is that really what you felt, or is that
was really
that
what
a
I
shtick
felt?
you've developed over the years to answer this question?
Did you really think that? It's a good question.
No,
you did.
No, it was really. I when I looked at both clubs, and I was like, United, they've won so much. So I needed to go somewhere where, you know, I could create history with the players. And back then as well, you know, you had the likes of McElhenney, Drogba, African players going to you know, to Chelsea. For me, I looked at that, I was like, okay, you know what, where am I going to feel more comfortable?
Sure.
And also, where am I going to create my own
a
history?
Well, to be fair to you, John, I mean, United's loss was very much Chelsea's gain. We're going to get into that. We'll get into life under Abramovich, and we'll also get into the world of podcasting, where you, my friend, are a star. John Obi Mikel is with us live on talkSPORT.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.